Welcome to my podcast. So glad that you're here. Okay, so one mega misconception that I have experienced animosity toward and also personally experienced myself, the idea that being healed means that you're so stable and so at peace and so just la la rainbows. That's not fucking real. What do you mean? Emotional stability and emotional intelligence, they're kind of long lost cousins, all right? So emotional intelligence is one can pick up on the energy of everybody else around you, but you understand your own energy and your own emotions and your own responses versus reactions, right? That is so totally different than just being always at peace and always you have your shit together. Today, for example, I've had a bad day, a bad emotional day. It's just one thing after the other that has been pissing me off. My interactions with my children, maybe I'm not proud of those today. My reaction, so there's a difference in a reaction and a response, right? A response is very thought out. It is very methodical. It is you're gonna analyze the situation, the emotions, you're gonna identify where they're coming from, why you're having them, and then you're gonna choose an action that is appropriate for the situation and not detrimental. A reaction is your initial what the fuck. A reaction is you might not have control over it. It's an impulse. My reactions today, for some reason, they're not... So you can be emotionally intelligent and still have days where you're off, okay? You can still have times where you're mad and you're upset and you're losing your fucking mind for a hot second. And honestly, as a woman, I don't care how men are oh my God, that's an excuse, you're a woman. No. When it comes that time of the month, your hormones are fucking real. The way that hormones and the chemicals made in your body affect how you physically interact with the world, that shit's real. And it is not an excuse, right? You still need to have that shit under wraps. But today, I'm thinking it's gonna be my time very soon because everything's pissing me off. But all in all, I feel I am, everybody still has room to grow. There's always room to grow. You're never fully grown. You're never fully 100% healed, okay? Because the idea of being fully 100% healed means that you're never going to experience anything else in your life that is going to ask you to grow further. And that's just not the reality. That's just not living. We live our lives every day. Things happen. New stuff can happen that you're going to have to adjust to and heal from. That's part of the journey. So I actually had some people that were pretty close to me be how did you write a chapter on emotional intelligence? And I was what does that mean? And they're oh, you cuss, I know you get angry. I know you have days where you just don't want to do anything. I know that there are things that piss you off. Yeah. And that's natural. It's natural to feel feelings. Emotional intelligence is not just, again, rainbows and unicorns. It's being able to identify what you're feeling and where it's coming from. It's being able to take a step back and formulate a response if needed. You need to identify if a response is required. It's not always reacting. So if you get pissed off at some things, that's fine. And if over time you just start to not give a shit about certain things, that's because you have learned that it doesn't deserve a response nor a reaction from you. It is minute in the grand scheme of things in your life. And just because you're healed and you're spiritual and you're connected and you've aligned with your inner self, it doesn't mean you're not human. It doesn't mean your sense of humor can't be dark as fuck. A lot of things that I've learned to cope with, I have dark humor now. And it might be mildly inappropriate at sometimes. And emotional intelligence has a lot to do with you understanding how you affect other people. I am an energy channeler. I do absorb the energies of others, be it negative or positive. And I recognize that. I'm totally aligned with that. I totally understand that my negativity, when I have it, can absolutely multiply onto others. And on the flip, my positivity, my ability to not blow up in a situation unjust, also wears off on others. And if I do have a negative reaction and I do act a fool over something. For example, this morning I woke up and my son had ruined my makeup. He's 7. In my head at the moment, I was like, damn, this is really fucking mean. He came in here, he destroyed my stuff, he's inconveniencing my day. Now I'm having to take time out of my day to clean this up. My eyeshadow palette is crumbled. Like I was pissed. Okay, I was pissed. I was mad. I told him that I was mad. And I told him that I thought what he did was mean. I told him how I felt. So I just separated myself. I cleaned up the mess. I calmed down. Then later I went and talked to him and asked him again why he did it. And he said he didn't know, and that he didn't know that he ruined a bunch of my stuff. I don't know if he knew or not, okay? I don't know if he did it to be mean. I don't know. I'm not him. The only thing that I know is in that moment, I was pissed, I was upset, I was disappointed, and I was hurt. But then I know I cleaned up the mess, and now it doesn't fucking matter. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. We got through that moment. That moment was an inconvenience, but I got through it. Now that inconvenience doesn't matter. I can buy new eyeshadow. I actually have more eyeshadow, so whatever. I'm not gonna die if I don't have eyeshadow. I cleaned the brushes. I'm not gonna die if I don't have brushes. The emotional intelligence and the forgiveness of whatever the situation was that you may have been pissed about in the moment, those go hand in hand, and those look different for different people. Like, I'm not a Buddhist priest, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I am, but I can sit here and say that I've worked really hard on emotional intelligence in general, because I don't want to provide an environment for my children where everybody's just like walking on eggshells and everybody's just pissed off, and something that happens gets carried on for days and days. Like, I don't want to live in that myself. I don't want my kids to live in that, but I don't want to live in that animosity. So I truly feel like emotional intelligence is the groundwork to having a productive, fulfilled life for not only you, but those around you. So you need to practice that, okay? You need to practice forgiveness, emotional intelligence. Those go hand in hand. Those are something that like everybody can master. I do have 2 chapters on that in my ebook that I have on my website. So I do want to get more into that, like into these podcasts and stuff like that. I want to go chapter by chapter, like through my ebook, and kind of like, you know, review those, dissect those a little more. But they are there if you want to grab them and read them. They're short. I think the longest chapter has like 4 pages, so it's not that serious. But those things are incredibly important for yourself to like get through your day, to be able to move on and channel like good energy and not bad energy. But at the end of the day, you still have to meet yourself with grace, because we're all still human. We all still get mad, and we're allowed to get mad. We're allowed to have emotions. We're allowed to feel shitty about something. We're allowed to express how others make us feel when it's warranted. So please don't think that this like journey or this healing process is like la la land, because it's not. It never will be. It never will be. And if you do live in a world where everything is just so perfect for you all the time, and it's stars and flowers and rainbows and birds singing, and your voice is just always what soothes everybody else around you, I love that for you. Okay, I love that for you. But that is a standard that I know I can never live up to. I'm not Snow White. I want you to know that you don't have to live up to that either. You can be real, you can be raw, you can be pissed, you can yell, you can cry, you can be like, what the fuck, 42 times a day. And it's all normal, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And we'll have more of this. Like, I want to, like, not only in my ebook, like I want to do an actual like class about this, because that was one thing through my own journey that I struggled with. I felt like it was either all or nothing, and I just knew how far away from what I grew up with that I wanted to be. And I think that's why I thought it was all or nothing, but it doesn't have to be that way. There is a very broad middle ground that is very comfortable and okay to wallow in. It's very relatable, and there's a ton of support in that middle ground. So anyway, we'll get more into that next time, but in the meantime, thrive, be bright. I love you.